Hey, what's going on, everybody? Greg Hickman here with Alt Agency at altagency.com. And I'm going to break down some business lessons, the top 10 business lessons that I've learned now that I've reached 100 YouTube videos. So a little bit different content normally, but if you're not yet subscribed, be sure to click that subscribe button because we release a video every single Thursday on helping you reimagine, grow, systematize, and automate your agency. So let's dive right in. All right, guys. So like I said in this video, I actually polled our free Facebook group of agency owners, which I've linked up below. If you're not in there, we'd love to see you in there. And I said, hey, I'm going to be recording my 100th episode. And what should I talk about? And a couple of people came in and said that they would love to hear the lessons that I've learned since really kind of diving into YouTube. Now, a little logistical thing to clear up is I have more than 100 YouTube videos. I started YouTube, and this is actually one of the lessons, and I stopped for a little while, and then I sort of rebooted it, and I've done now 100 videos since the reboot. And so this is kind of episode 100 of the reboot. And I have to say, I have learned a lot of lessons along the way that I think apply both to life and business. And there are 10 of them that I'm going to share with you today. So let's dive right in. So lesson number 1 is to fall in love with the process. Now, what I mean by falling in love with the process is when I first started YouTube, I bought a course and showed me how to kind of do the research to find the video, to figure out what to talk about. And it worked. Like the program was great. I am actually revisiting some of the things that I've learned in that program. But what I noticed was that after all of the research to figure out what to record, like what the topic of the video should be about, once I narrowed it down, like this is the most search-worthy term to attract people to me, I found myself talking about things that I didn't really care about and things that didn't excite me as much. And so after doing that for a handful of episodes, I was doing 2 a week at that time, I just got burned out and like it became not fun anymore. So as a part of the reboot, I said, I'm going to create content that I want on things that I want to talk about and not worry about the analytics, not even care about if this is getting subscribers. I want to just fall in love with actually doing the videos. And I know that if I stick with it long enough, the subscribers will come and all of that great stuff. And it wasn't until I kind of fell in love with that process that it became fun, and I just approached every video with energy, and I got ideas from our clients and our audience, and I started to see that there were so many things I could talk about that people I already wanted to serve and help were asking me, and I would just create the content around that. I forgot about and didn't worry about all of the, are the tags right? Is the headline searchable? And there will be plenty of people that watch this and say, Greg, you're stupid. You're missing out on opportunities. I know I am. And I'm working on those things now, but I wouldn't have gotten to 100 episodes beyond that and still been enjoying myself if I didn't disconnect from that and fall in love with the process. So I don't know where you are at in your business. Maybe you're doing YouTube or you're working on launching something or what have you, and you're worried too much about how someone else has told you to do it and you've just stopped enjoying it. Well, maybe forget about all that stuff and just do it because you want to do it. And I think you'll fall in love with it and you'll see the results you're actually looking for. So lesson number 2 is the highest converting content is often the least planned, which I find to be super interesting. When I take an idea from a client or a prospect that had asked a question, or I see a question that comes up in our community a lot, and I just talk about it, kind of free form like this, and I get to be my raw, sometimes stuttering self. Often that's the content that gets the most pull. When we show up on sales conversations, it's always, hey, I watched this video and I felt like I needed to reach out and see if I could get help. It was always the content that was, less tactical and more from the heart and what I feel like needs to be said. So if you find yourself overthinking yourself, and that's also burning you out. Maybe just kind of release some content saying what you think you need to say and what you think your prospect and your audience needs to hear. Lesson number 3 is what you draw gets retained. If you've been around this channel for a little bit, you've noticed that I often will draw on my iPad, and I'll cut from, the screen looking at me to actually drawing a model or making my point and sharing a concept visually. And time again, we have people show up on our sales calls and they will reference my drawings. They will say, hey, in that video where you drew the triangle and you said that there were these 5 stages, or, you drew that Venn diagram. Like, when that happens on our sales calls, those sales actually are infinitely easier because the prospect has been mostly pre-sold and they've put themselves inside of our solutions and our thinking. And so when someone comes from our YouTube channel onto our sales calls, they're almost always way more bought in than someone who comes from like a Facebook ad and then into a sales call or anything like that. So I've found the YouTube has specifically the drawing on the iPad has allowed us to ingrain our concepts and our methods and our beliefs and theories into the minds of our prospects, which has made selling easier, which actually leads me into the next lesson, which is that YouTube is our best lead nurturing channel. So that being said, like, the volume of times that prospects have come to us and shared that they saw my ad and they watched the webinar, but then they went to my YouTube channel and binge watched my content and then scheduled a call with us are always the best clients and the easiest to sell. They've sold themselves, they're convinced, and they want our help. And when someone comes to you and they're already bought in and they already want your help, it's really more just about fit, which is what most sales conversations should really be about, is like, hey, can I help you? Do you want my help? Let's do this together, versus me having to sell you that like my belief or my methodology works, which is why I love YouTube and video in general, because it allows you to nurture people to the point where it will actually make your sales conversations a whole lot better. And we have the data behind our sales conversations. And even if we weren't tracking it, if we just made a tally of every single time someone in our sales call mentions, yeah, we started watching tons of your YouTube channels, then it'd be a high percentage out of the gate anyway. Now, I also know that there's a weird light going on and off out here. Something's going on outside the building, so apologize. I can't really control that. Let's move on to the next lesson, that the quality comes from the quantity. The quality comes from the quantity. I think this comes both in YouTube and in business. So we were at one of our client intensives and a client asked me, Greg, don't you get tired of saying the same thing over and over again? And I said, no, because one, I love our clients and I love the type of client and prospects that we serve. I'm so in love with the problem that we're solving that I can talk about it forever. But also, every time I talk about it, I will say something different or slightly, try a new way of saying it or use a different metaphor or tell a different story. And the mastery of that conversation, the mastery and process of achieving mastery in my own message allows me to connect with different types of people. So I might say something today that doesn't resonate with you, but someone else hears it and they're like, oh my God, it finally makes sense. And if I didn't keep mastering my message, aka doing more videos, doing it again, putting in the repetitions, that I wouldn't get to the quality and I think be able to off the cuff give a 30, 60, 90-minute full day workshop. Like, I've talked about this stuff so much that if someone said, Greg, I need you to do a full day workshop tomorrow, I'm perfectly fine, ready to go. Like, I wouldn't be really stressed at all. Give me a white pad, a whiteboard and a marker, and I can keep you guys active and fulfilled throughout the whole day. That comes from the quantity of me showing up all the time. So if you're the type of person that is always spending forever just to make it perfect, I think ultimately it's going to take you longer to achieve mastery, because a lot of the thing that makes you better is the repetitions out in front of the marketplace, the knowing that people are watching you, getting the feedback, hearing what works and what doesn't, so that you can improve a little bit each and every time. The next lesson is I'm doing it for me first, but I'm my best client. So guys, honestly, and this sounds crazy, but if nobody was watching this stuff, I'd still probably do it. And I'm super pumped that my subscribers and you guys that are watching, keep watching. We have big goals for this channel going into next year. We want to see our subscribers more than double, and again, that comes with the quantity. But the thing about this is, like, I enjoy this so much, so I'm doing it for me first. Like, I fill my own cup by doing this, because again, back to the mastery, I'm getting better, and coming up with new ideas and concepts makes me a better trainer and coach for our clients. And so that kind of why I said I'm doing it for me first, but I'm my best client, is why I think the content actually ends up working. I serve a lot of people that are just like me and were in the same situation I was in, and want to transition from done-for-you services agency more into kind of consultative training, workshops, and more of the expert-based model, and/or kind of a hybrid of the both, and have the best of both worlds. And so because I'm creating content for myself and things that I wish I was told, it resonates with who I'm talking to. But again, I'll do this any day anyway, because it helps me get better, which the byproduct of that is it helps other people. And that's just as fulfilling, but I also want to be my best. And so there's a lesson coming up kind of related to that here in just a minute. So the next lesson is the game can't be won, only played. So I talk to a lot of people, and they have these ambitious goals, and they are like, well, I need it to happen tomorrow or in 30 days. And if it doesn't happen in 30 days, like, they give up. And I just keep looking at my business, and I tell this to our clients all the time. You have these big goals, and you're going to kill yourself or burn yourself out if you're trying to achieve all of that so soon. Like, are you in this business? Are you going to be done with your business in the next 30 days? Are you going to be done with your business after the next year? Most entrepreneurs so love the process that they are building their own empire, whatever that looks like for them. They enjoy the building. And so they're always going to be working towards the next thing. That's just how our minds work. So instead of thinking that I'm going to do this for a year and then it's over, you're probably not going to survive anyway if that's your mindset, because if you're playing the game of business, it cannot be won. You can only keep playing. And that goes back to falling in love with the process. If all you care about is the outcome, it's probably going to prevent you from falling in love with the process, and you won't be able to play the game long enough to even feel like you've won, even though the game can't actually be won. The next lesson is that the people who could benefit most from your material will never seek it out. This is a hat tip to Ramit Sethi. I saw him post this on Instagram, and I really thought about it for a while. And that's another reason why I do these videos is, sometimes, and also a reason why I spend money on ads. There are a lot of people that have a problem in their business that I know I can help with, but they either don't realize they have a problem or haven't felt they have felt the symptoms, but they haven't identified the problem yet. And by me showing up each and every day with free material like this, they are just more likely to stumble upon it. So there's a lot of people that will never seek you out because they don't know that you exist. But by me creating this and releasing a new video every single week for however many weeks, right? That gives me the best chance to hopefully have them stumble across across me. In addition to when I spend money on ads to get in front of other people, it's because I know that I can help. And so they might not find me otherwise. So I have to, in some cases, interrupt and show up where they're already spending time to help shake them free from what's going on in their life and their business to actually get the help that they need, because I'm confident that I can help. So just know that a lot of the content you create, people might not be seeking it out, but that doesn't mean you should stop creating it, because the more that's out there, the more likely people will find it. All right, guys, that brings us to the 9th lesson. And the 9th lesson is that the most successful people never stop doing the fundamentals. So you might grow in revenue. You might double your team size. You might do all the things that you had the outcomes to do, the goals to do. And the people that are doing that, or the people that you aspire to be like, still will do the fundamentals. They'll wake up, they'll wake up on time. They'll honor their word. They'll do what they said they were going to do. They will do the unsexy work. They will show up for their team and lead their team, even when they are sick or when they're not happy or when they have things going on in their life. They will do the selling. They will take the sales calls when they're the only sales rep, and their goal is to not be the sales rep, but they have to be the sales rep until they can't be the sales rep. You never stop doing the fundamentals. You never stop selling. You never stop marketing. You never stop fulfilling and delivering on your client results. You never stop being a leader, and you never stop taking care of yourself as a human, the owner, because the energy you have is going to fuel into the business and, influence your team and get your team excited. So you can never stop doing the fundamentals. And I find that when you feel like you've made it, you start working on, maybe new tactics or new strategies, but that doesn't mean you just get to stop doing the things that were fundamental in you getting there, like I just mentioned. So look at any successful person that you aspire to be like, or, maybe one of your mentors or coaches, and I will bet that they have never, ever stopped doing the fundamentals. So that brings us to the 10th final lesson that I've learned about myself and business after doing over 100 YouTube videos here with you guys. And that is that our business growth will never exceed our own capacity as an entrepreneur. And that goes for the owner and the employee. So if your mindset, your abilities cap out somewhere, say here, your business will never pass that. Your team will likely never pass that, because you need to always be growing and up leveling and raising the bar for the business to follow in tow, right? There's a lot of, some of my mentors have said similar things, like your business success will never exceed your own. And really what this means to me is I need to, as the owner, constantly be working on myself. This is why entrepreneurship is one of the best self-development classes you can ever sign up for. So as you keep growing and acquiring new skills and up-leveling your thinking bigger, seeing bigger, having bigger vision, the benefit that has to the team is they start to see bigger. They start to believe that things are possible. They see you acquiring skills, they go acquire skills. But if you look at it from the perspective of your business will never exceed you and your own growth, you'll probably start to spend more time working on yourself, how you think, the skills that you have, so that you can constantly be better, aka falling back in love with the process. You can see how there's a kind of a thread that weaves itself through all of these lessons, that if you want to grow to the next level, you need to be able to and increase your own capacity to do so. So I hope you found this helpful. There goes that light again. In the comment section below, share what your favorite lesson is, or the one that hit you the most. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button, or wherever that subscribe button is. We release a new video every single Thursday, and we'll catch you next time.